Christ is risen. Alleluia. Well, friends, Easter is a few days behind us. And in most of the world, the only hint that we see of what has just happened is the candy that is on sale in the grocery store, if you can even find any Easter candy left at this point. But this year in our church community, we are going to practice the full 50 days of Eastertide together. And we are using this book, Living Easter by Laura Kelly Finucci, as our guide into the Easter season. So starting next week, on Wednesday evenings and Thursday mornings, we will have weekly opportunities to gather together to discuss what we are learning and experiencing as we journey through Eastertide. But this week, we're just getting settled in. We wanted a little bit of a gentler entry point. And so this week, I'm just going to share a gentle practice with you via video. This is just another invitation into our Eastertide together. So if you've been following along in Living Easter, we have been walking through the resurrection account in the Gospel of Mark. Mark is always spare of detail, so it is in some ways the simplest of the resurrection accounts. And so I've especially appreciated that this week, our author, Laura Finucci, has paired that spare account with some very simple practices to guide us through our Eastertide. As Finucci reminds us in the introduction, practicing joy sounds relatively simple until you remember that Easter lasts for 50 days. And over the course of 50 days, real life is going to happen. And there will be things that happen that will want to cause us to deviate from joy, that will pull us away from joy. And so we need to find ways into joy that we can actually carry through for the long haul. And I think her simple invitations to things like wearing white, watching a sunrise, praying for someone, those are great entryways for us to learn how to cultivate joy as a practice and as a discipline, something that can sustain us through the highs and lows of life. And so to that end, I want to invite you today to join me in a prayer practice. Our author wrote a companion guide to Living Easter that provides some study and reflection questions. And also in that guide, she shares a handful of breath prayers each week. Breath prayers are a wonderful, simple prayer practice. They are great for folks who feel like they don't know how to pray, or who have trouble carving out time for prayer. If you think prayer has to be this, like, I sit down in the dark and in the quiet for 30 minutes and I don't know how to make that happen, breath prayer is for you. Breath prayer is also great for folks who are able to do that and you're just looking for another tool in your prayer toolbox. So breath prayer really helps us connect to these wonderful bodies that God created. It also helps us connect to the Spirit of God within us, the very breath of life in our lungs that sustains us. And breath prayer is exactly what it sounds like. It is using our inhales and our exhales to guide us in a short and simple prayer. So you can use breath prayer in the grocery store when you're waiting in line. You can use it in the school pickup line. You can use it when you're at a doctor's appointment. It's a short and simple way to connect to God. Or you can use it as a more extended centering and meditative practice. So today I'm going to guide us in a breath prayer together. Our prayer for today is, while it is still dark, I come to you, O God. While it is still dark, I come to you, O God, which is a lovely invitation into Easter, especially if you're not feeling particularly Eastery or joyful. So first, I invite you to find a comfortable position. I prefer to be seated. You can lay down if you prefer that, and bring one hand to your heart and one to your belly. You can also place your hands in your lap or simply place them by your side. Again, whatever is going to be comfortable for you. And now, find your breath. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Take a deep breath in and let it out slowly. And once you have found your breath, we will pair it with our prayer. So on your inhale, pray, while it is still dark. And on your exhale, Pray, I come to you, O God. While it is still dark, I come to you, O God. And I invite you to continue on your own for a few more breaths, either silently or out loud. And that's it, friends. That is breath prayer. It is as simple as that. So I invite you to take that prayer with you throughout the rest of the week. Come back to it whenever you need it as a reminder and a reorientation back into Easter, back into this practice of joy that we are just starting to cultivate this week. Now today, I want to leave you with words from the ancient Easter homily of St. John Chrysostom. St. John Chrysostom was a famous, skilled preacher from the early church. He preached this homily in the 5th century, and it is still read every year at Easter by our Orthodox siblings in Christ. So it is powerful. So hear this Easter exhortation for you. Come, you all, enter into the joy of the Lord. You the first and you the last, receive alike your reward. You rich and you poor, dance together. You who have kept the fast, and you who have not, rejoice today. The table is richly loaded. Enjoy its royal banquet. The calf is a fatted one. Let no one go away hungry. All of you enjoy the banquet of faith. All of you receive the riches of God's goodness. Blessings to you in this Eastertide, friends.